Hey everybody, I got my sidekick Mildred today. I'm not used to filming in public. I'm at Hannaford and people are gonna think I'm crazy and a cut cat. Anyway, so I thought I'd do a little different video today. If you guys have been following me for a while, you know I like to cook and I spend a lot of time in the kitchen, whether it's cooking or cleaning up after the cooking. So, thought it'd be fun to do a challenge to make Easter dinner for 6 people for $40 or less. So, yeah, I thought that would be fun. So at the end of the video, I will tell you what I would do if I had another $5 to spend and how I would use that. You know, you can still have a nice special holiday meal and just enjoy it with your loved ones around the table. Alright, so today we are going to make an entree and sides and a dessert. So we're going to go get all that for $40 or less. Fingers crossed, let's see how well I can do. And yeah, then we'll take her all back home and put it all together and show you what I got. So I got my list with me today. And Sweetie colored on the back of it this morning. Isn't that sweet? I thought that was so cute. She's a little sweetheart. Alright guys, well I'm not going to film inside because I already feel like a dork sitting out here talking to myself in my truck in the parking lot to a camera. So, I know it makes for some good B-roll. I don't know how people do it, but I'm not taking my camera in the grocery store. Alright guys, I will see you later. Alright, we're back at the house. I have the spoils over here. I'm going to go through and give you the price of everything. I'll leave timestamps down below for the different parts of this video because I feel like it might be a little bit of a longer one. And in case you want to go back and watch a certain part over again, like the recipes or something like that as we go through. Or if you just want to skip the chatty part and get right into it. So check that out down below. Alright, well I'll take you over here and give you the lowdown on what the prices are. Okay, so I got all of this just at the one Hannaford store. Okay, we've got a box of bran flakes for $2.59. I was really hoping to get a box of cornflakes for $1.99 because they usually have those, but they didn't have them. And they didn't even have space for them, so I don't know if they're just stopped carrying the $1.99 cornflakes, but all they had was a giant box and it was $3.99. So this was $2.59. So I went and grabbed these. Can of pineapple slices for $1.79. Sharp cheddar for $2.25. We've got packages of yeast for $1.49. Pearl onions for $2.39. I was happy that I could pick these up. I got these, this was the last thing that I got, and because I was able to get a better price on the bran flakes and the ham, I could get a bag of pearl onions and still be in or under my budget. Then we have peas for $1.89, 16-ounce bag of peas. I wanted to get the little peas, the petite green peas, because they're just, I don't know, I think they're sweeter and they taste more like garden fresh to me, but these will work. This is good, no complaints. Half gallon of milk for $2.38. Bag of gold potatoes for $1.50. So one of the recipes that I'm gonna make usually calls for a 2-pound bag of frozen diced potatoes, but those cost over $2. I was able to score this for $1.50 because it was on sale today. And we got 2 lemons, 2 for $1. Sour cream for $1.25. A 5-pound bag of flour for $3.29. Normally I buy flour by the 25-pound bag, unbleached and stuff, but for the purpose of this video, we just went ahead and we're just like assuming you don't regularly bake a lot of bread and pie crusts and things like that, and so that maybe you need to pick up some flour. And a 2-pound bag of sugar for $2.89. A 3-pound bag of carrots for $2. I lucked out, like things were on sale. And then this ham, 9.375 pound ham for $7.41. So no coupons or anything like that. Just went with what was on sale. Had to make a few adjustments because they didn't have the exact thing that I was looking for. And we ended up with 9.375 pound ham for $7.41. So no coupons or anything like that. Just went with what was on sale. Had to make a few adjustments because they didn't have the exact thing that I was looking for. And we ended up with $9.375 pound ham for $7.41. So no coupons or anything like that. We ended up with $39.27. So I stayed under my $40 budget. That was kind of exciting. Not gonna lie. Okay, so for our Easter dinner on a budget, feeding at least six people, our menu is, we're gonna have ham with a pineapple glaze, funeral potatoes, which some people call party potatoes. It's a potato dish made with the cream of chicken and the cheddar cheese. Peas and pearl onions with milk and butter. Now, if I had more than $40 to spend, I would get cream, because it's really good, like light cream. But whole milk is fine. And we're gonna make rolls. And then for dessert, we're gonna have a vanilla wacky cake with a lemon frosting. So, and I'm sure the scratch police are gonna come after me. They're gonna be like, well, you didn't really make it from scratch because you're using a condensed soup. I have made my own condensed soups many, many times. For the sake of this video and staying at or under a $40 budget, we went ahead and we got the can, because otherwise I'd have to buy like fresh, you know, Parmesan cheese and heavy cream. So we just went with the can. If you do have more money in your budget to get, you know, the stuff to make homemade cream soup, then go for it. Also, you know, it is better to make your own, because look at that. There's just a whole long list of ingredients. But it's okay. It's a holiday. It's a treat. We're going to have fun with it. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to make our rolls. Well, we're going to mix up our bread dough. And then we need to bake our cake so that our cake can cool so we can ice it. And homemade bread, like yeast bread, takes about 3 hours from start to finish, between mixing it up, letting it rise, punching it down, forming it into whatever shape you want, letting it rise again, and baking it. So figure in about 3 hours for your bread, and then you want to make sure you have time for your cake to cool before you ice it. Alright, let's get started. We are planning on pulling some staples from the pantry, so bought all these ingredients and figuring in that you have oil, salt, pepper, some seasonings, and vinegar at home. I think that's everything extra that I'm using. Again, you likely probably have flour and sugar too, but just in case, like I said, we just figured that into the budget just for funsies. Alright, to make our rolls, I'm going to start off with 2 teaspoons of salt, 3 tablespoons of sugar. We need 2 tablespoons of our butter. And I'm going to go ahead and leave this to sit out so it can soften, so that we can, at supper time, everybody can butter their rolls with some soft spreadable butter. And I'm going to slice this up a little bit just so it can melt faster. Do you guys like my knife? And that's what happens when the kids take it and use it to bypass a starter on their four-wheeler. Boys. Now we're gonna do 1.5 cups of hot water. We're gonna stir this all together till the butter's mostly melted. Try to break it up a little bit. Now we're gonna add 1 cup of milk. Make sure you add your milk before you add your yeast, or you're gonna kill your yeast with the hot water. That won't be good. Okay, for this recipe we need 2 packets. I need some scissors. I normally buy mine bulk in a jar, so I haven't used a packet in a while. Okay, we need 2 of these. Anybody got a light? Just kidding. Some people proof their yeast every time before every recipe. I don't. I mean, unless I've had some that's been sitting in a jar in the fridge for a long time. Like if I go on a major sourdough kick and I just don't use yeast for a while. I might before I make a big batch of something in case it's not good, but honestly, I've never had yeast that just was not good. We need roughly 6 cups of our flour. Okay, we'll start with 3 cups, so half the amount. And get that mixed in first. Okay, that was 5 cups and it's getting pretty stiff. If I was fussy, I probably would have sifted this first, but it'll work. I actually don't even have a sifter. I just use a just my wire mesh strainer if I need to, but I really rarely do. Usually it's just for like powdering things with either powdered sugar or dusting sourdough loaves with flour, things like that. I guess I'm not a very good baker. I don't sift a lot. I mean, unless something really does need to be sifted. I kind of go with more the saying, done is better than perfect. So if I could just slap something together, mix something up like sourdough or whatever before I go to bed at night, it's fine. Just something easy peasy. Huh, that's funny. Like the dough definitely feels different. I make this all the time, but the dough actually feels different. I usually use King Arthur's unbleached, unenriched, by the 25-pound bag. That's funny how this feels different. It's still all-purpose flour. Okay, and like I mentioned earlier, we're just figuring you have some few basics at home. So I'm just going to use my avocado oil. I'm going to put this top side down, turn it once. Now the top is greased, and I'm going to take this clean cloth. I just ran it under the faucet, and I'm going to cover it with that. I think my sourdough's jealous. It's just sitting there like, why? For a vanilla wacky cake, I greased and floured an 8x8 baking dish. And now we're going to add the ingredients. Wacky cakes are normally mixed in the pan. I'm weird. I prefer to mix it in a bowl first. I have trouble with it sticking. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or what, but anytime that I mix it in the pan, it's like the grease and the flour that I just put in the pan comes off and mixes in with everything else, and then the cake sticks to the pan. So I'd rather mix it in the bowl. I just have better luck that way. A teaspoon of baking soda and half a teaspoon of salt. I think I am going to sift this flour for the cake. So we need 1.5 cups of flour. I'm getting it everywhere. Now we need 1 cup of our sugar. Next we need 1/3 cup of oil, 1 cup of water, and 2 tablespoons of white vinegar. And 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Alright, we got that in the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes, 35 minutes, until a toothpick in the middle comes out clean. Looks like the cake's done.
want to see my beautiful face.
Yes, I do. Alright, I got little sweetie Petite with me. She's going to help peel potatoes.
And cut them.
And cut them. Watch your fingers on that in the sharp. Okay. Alright. You ready? We'll do 5 because 2 of them are kind of small. Okay, be very careful. You can put it on the board and roll it over. Just, ooh, watch your little fingers. You make me nervous. So the oven is still at 350 from the cake that I just took out. I'm going to get the ham ready next. Good job, Charlene. It was so nice to see these hams on sale. Usually it's like $20, $30 for ham, for crying out loud. And this was $7. Do you smell something good, Mildred? You smell the ham, Mildred? Now I'm just going to score the ham. Alright, now we're going to take our can of pineapple. So we can put it on our ham. I'm going to take the slices out and keep the juice, because we're going to use that to make our glaze. Oh, doesn't that look yummy, Charlene?
It looks like melon donuts.
Melon donuts, yeah. Pineapple donuts.
This is the ice cream machine.
Okay, I'm going to mix this glaze up over here because I don't dare do it over by the stove. I don't trust this hound, not one bit. She's sitting right here looking at this ham. Okay, sweetie, let me take this off all the way so you don't
cut myself.
Right. Maybe, if I can. There it goes.
This is the ice cream machine.
Okay, sweetie. Hold on, let me move you a little closer.
So we don't fall over.
Alright, we need our juice in this dipper. Good job. Okay, now we need a 1/4 cup of our sugar. Now I would, oh just a minute, I would use brown sugar, but which I already have. But if you didn't already have brown sugar, we're gonna use this sugar that we got today. Okay, just 1 full scoop.
Only that. Is that?
Easy. Yep, put that in. Now just a tiny bit more because that wasn't quite full. Just a little bit. There you go. Perfect. Good job turning and covering. Oh, nope, we don't cough in our hands. I would use Dijon, but I don't have any Dijon mustard, so we're just going to put about a teaspoon or 2 of regular mustard in.
Can we run this step, okay?
Okay, go ahead. That's good. That's good. Or 3. That's good. Good job. Okay, so now we're going to simmer this and whisk it together. Mildred, get away from that ham. I'm going to put you in the kennel. Now we're just going to cut them into smaller chunks so they boil a little faster.
We don't want it to be midnight when we make these.
No, we don't want it to be midnight, do we? Push down on the... Push. Oh, you did it. Okay, one more time. There you go. Nice work. We got our potatoes on, boiling.
Yep.
We've got our glaze, which I really think I need more sugar. I will measure out the sugar that I need for my lemon frosting for the cake, and if I have extra, I'll put it in here. Otherwise, I think it'll still be good. So for our buttercream frosting, our lemon buttercream frosting, we need 2 cups of powdered sugar. We didn't buy powdered sugar, so we're going to make our own with the granulated sugar that we bought. So go ahead and just start with 1 cup. Nope, go ahead. It's going to be easier, sweetie, if you just pour. Do you want me to pour and you hold the cup?
No, I can.
Okay, go ahead. Good job.
Whenever you're ready.
Go ahead. got our powdered sugar for our frosting. Now I'm going to see how much sugar we have left to work with. Oh wow.
Like what I found.
Sweetie, we still have a whole cup of sugar. We can add more to our glaze. Did you find the sugar spoon?
Yes.
You're silly. I'm going to add about another 1/3 cup. Alright, so we got our stick of butter for our frosting warming up. Careful, honey.
Oh my goodness.
This is a labor of love, you guys, because this takes way longer to film and cook at the same time. So I have a helper, and...
Wait here.
You helping me?
Yes.
Oh, good. But it does to move the camera around and everything.
I'm a sweetie pie.
You are a sweetie pie.
I like sugar, even powdered sugar.
Okay, so our potatoes are boiling, sweetie. You know what we need to do? What we could do? We can peel our carrots. No, we're not making pancakes.
Cereal?
No. We got to peel our carrots.
Yeah.
See how my fingers are like this?
Yeah.
Nope. Hold your hand the other way. There you go. Okay, first you're going to peel this half of the carrot, the bottom half. And then when you get this all peeled, then you're going to, nope, you're going to turn it around like this, and then you're going to do this side. See? Then you don't get anywhere near your fingers. Nope. Away from your fingers. No, you go away.
I want no fingers.
Why? Pour this glaze on.
Oh yeah, that looks good.
Just look. See, and then put one in there. See? There you go. Good job. Alright. Okay, we're going to pop this in the oven at 350 for, well, we'll check it in an hour and see what it looks like. Okay, I've got the potatoes drained and cooling slightly. We have the carrots. Let's slice them up julienne, and they're boiling till tender. Ham's in the oven. Now I'm going to shape our rolls and allow them to rise again. So at this point, this much dough can make 2 loaves or rolls. So you don't have to make rolls if you don't want to. You can make loaf bread. But we're gonna make rolls for our Easter dinner. I should have put my apron back on for this. Ah, just out of habit, I grabbed my flour canister off the shelf. We'll pretend I just took that handful out of this bag that has plenty in it. I'm gonna use this for Play-Doh later. Oops. Old habits die hard. So to make the rolls, I just have some flour on my hands. I'm just gonna tear off some pieces and try to keep them relatively the same size. That way they kind of cook equally. Just roll it up, pinch the bottom, make a little ball like that. About the size of a golf ball. Maybe a little bigger. I'm gonna grease my loaf pans. Oops, that was enough for 2. If you tap the bottom of your rolls in a little flour, it helps keep them from sticking to the pan.
Sticky.
Kind of like greasing and flouring the cake pan. Now we just gotta cover them again with a damp towel or some saran wrap or beeswax wrap and let them rise for about 30 more minutes before we stick them in the oven. Okay, we're gonna work on our potato dish now. We got the ham underway. That's smelling really good now. I'm greasing up this pie plate. I'm actually not even sure what size this is. Maybe a 9-inch? Might be a 9-inch pie plate. I don't even know. Okay, we got our golden potatoes that we boiled. Sweetie did a good job peeling them and helping chop. I'm just going to cube these up. And don't worry if your potatoes are a little on the soft side. When you're making them from scratch like this, if they end up semi-mashed, because that's just the way it goes. It's okay. There's a fine line between cooking them, like parboiling, and them actually being done. And then of course if they sit in the hot water for any amount of time, they continue to cook. I drained these off and ran some cold water over them, but still kind of quite soft. Whoops. But we're going to make it work. It's going to be okay. Since our potatoes are a little soft, because we cooked them from scratch instead of frozen hash browns, I'm going to go ahead and add this, the cream of chicken soup on the sour cream and the seasonings first. Mix it all together and then kind of like fold in the potatoes till they're all coated. That way I don't beat the bejeebers out of the potatoes and turn them into mashed. We have our 8 ounces, 1 cup of sour cream. We're going to add the whole thing. Then I'm going to do roughly 3/4 teaspoon of garlic powder and about 3/4 teaspoon of onion powder. So normally when I make these, like I said, which isn't very often, I make it with some, I take like a small to medium onion and I dice that up and add that in there. But since we didn't buy any onions today, I'm just using garlic powder and onion powder, because you probably already have that in your pantry. Now I'm going to take a minute and I'm going to melt 1/4 cup of our butter here that we have. We've got 2 sticks left because we have 1 stick out for our frosting that we need to make, and then we still have the 6 tablespoons left after we made the bread for buttering our rolls. So we have soft spreadable butter for our rolls. So we still have 2 sticks left. I need 1/4 cup, so I need half a stick. Then I'm going to melt this in a cast iron skillet, and then we're going to toast up our cereal in it. Okay, I have our wheat bran flakes. I've never made this recipe with these flakes before. It's always been corn flakes, but again, they were too expensive to fit in our $40 or under budget, and the kids have already been into them. So, okay, I need 2 cups for the top of our casserole here. And we're going to put them in a baggie and just kind of crush them up a little bit. We don't want to turn them into powder, we just want to crush them. There we go. Okay. So now we're just going to crush them up a little. Okay, we're going to check on our melted butter. Okay, we got our carrots over there. They're all done. They're just barely fork tender. And of course, they're probably going to cook a little bit more as they sit in that hot water. But then we're going to drain that off and cook them up in a glaze. But for now, we're just keeping them hot. We got our melted butter here. Okay, that's just about ready to add our cereal. So at first, 1/4 cup of butter looked like way too much. Probably. Anyway, it did to me. It does every time I make this. It looks like, wow, 1/4 cup of butter, really? But look how quickly it soaked that up. So now we're just going to kind of stir them around a little bit and let them toast and try to keep them from burning. I'm going to turn that down just a whisker. Okay, we're gonna let those toast up. We don't want to turn the heat down too low because then they'll just get soggy instead of toasting. We only need 1 cup of shredded cheddar for this recipe, but we'll probably get about 2 cups from an 8-ounce block of cheese. So we can add a little extra if we want to. Okay, we already have over a cup here, so we're just gonna go with this. I'm gonna go ahead and stir it in with our sour cream and our condensed soup. Now I'm gonna add our potatoes. And then I'm just gonna gently stir that all together until it's nice and coated. Trying not to turn the potatoes into mush. Now I'm going to add this to our greased dish. Everything is smelling so good. This dish right here is going to be a texture party right in your mouth. Alright, so this potato dish takes about 30 minutes to bake. The rolls take roughly 30 minutes to bake. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pull the ham out. I'm going to baste it. I'm just going to use a spoon because, I mean, I had a baster a long time ago, but it broke. So I'm going to baste the ham. I'm going to throw in this potato dish and the rolls. And then after they're probably about halfway done, we'll do our onions and peas and carrots. Now we're going to make our lemon buttercream frosting for our vanilla wacky cake. We got our 2 lemons. We might only need 1 of them. And since this recipe for the frosting calls for lemon zest, I went ahead and I have unscented, I don't know what you call it. There's no colors or fragrance in my dish soap. So I just put like literally a drop on this lemon, both of them, and just like scrubbed them, washed them. Since I'm going to use the zest, so I'm going to pick the seeds out. So 2 tablespoons of lemon juice and 1 tablespoon of lemon zest. I probably should have zested it before I sliced it. I just thought of that. Oops. We've got our 2 cups of powdered sugar that we made from our granulated sugar. We have our half a cup or 1 stick of butter that's been sitting out for a couple hours now. And we're gonna get that mixed in. Then we have a tablespoon of lemon zest. And then we need up to 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, possibly 4, but we're just gonna add that a little at a time. Okay, we're going to cut in our butter into our powdered sugar with a pastry blender before we add the lemon juice and the lemon zest. That's how you use a pastry blender, like that. But try not to, don't fling so much sugar everywhere. There you go. There you go, good job. Alright, now we're going to add our lemon zest.
Lemon zest?
Okay, do you want to use the spoon and scrape all that lemon? It's lemon peel, they call it lemon zest. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. We're just going to do this a little at a time because you could always add more, but once you go too far, that's good. Actually, slightly under a tablespoon. Once you go too far, then you got to add more powdered sugar and back and forth, and we put all the powdered sugar we have in this bowl.
Hello, guys. We're making frosting. See, it looks delicious, doesn't it?
I ended up adding a total of about 2.5 tablespoons of lemon juice and the tablespoon of lemon zest. And that seems just about the right consistency that I can frost the cake without, you know, tearing the top layer off.
Not really, I'll just try a little slice of ham.
Think so?
Yeah. Oh, that looks so smooth on the cake.
Okay guys, we got our peas and onions and milk and butter. We have our vanilla wacky cake with lemon buttercream frosting. We have our pineapple glazed ham. Hi Liam. Hey. We have our funeral / party potatoes. Our glazed carrots, our softened stick of butter, and rolls. That was quite the endeavor today to make this. And I didn't use all the onions, I didn't use all the peas, I didn't use all the carrots, and there's almost an entire pan of rolls left over there. So, and we didn't cook all the potatoes, so there's a lot of food. We got a lot of food for 40 bucks. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this. Let me know if you like these frugal type videos sprinkled throughout. And yeah, I look forward to your feedback. Look forward to your comments. So, I told you at the beginning of this video that at the end I would tell you what I would do if I had another $5 I could spend on Easter dinner. So this was all $40. If I had another $5, I would buy a dozen eggs. And I would, depending on how many people I'm feeding, I would make deviled eggs, and I might not cook all the eggs. So I might make, I don't know, like 6. So I might take half the eggs and make that into deviled eggs to go with this meal. And then in the morning, we still have potato, we're gonna have leftover ham. So then in the morning, you could have everybody could have an egg, some ham, and a nice pan toasted roll to have for breakfast. And then you could use your other potatoes, make hash if you wanted to go all out and have a big breakfast. But chances are you probably aren't going to want to have a great big breakfast after spending all day the day before cooking this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. It's a little different, but thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you on the next one.